Why most guys live in sexual scarcity. It has a lot to do with how guys view women and how guys evaluate women and their relationships. For instance, if you go onto any male forum, whether that's a boxing forum, an MMA forum, a bodybuilding forum, where there's a lot of guys, inevitably you're going to get posts where guys post pictures of girls that they think that are really attractive, maybe famous celebrities, famous models, things like that. And they'll get all these guys chiming in on what they think of these girls. And pretty much without a question, you can pick out the guys that are complete virgins or have very little experience, very little sexual experience. And what do they all do? They criticize every blemish and flaw in this girl that looks a million times better than they do, or a million times better than the girls that they have ever been with or will ever be with. But here they are tearing them down behind their computer screens. And why do they do this? They equate sex to mean she must be your girlfriend, she must be your wife, she must be your mother of your children. And yes, if you're going to have children with a woman, you better make damn sure she's like everything you want, because you're going to be with her for at least 18 years. So yes, it makes sense to be super picky about the mother of your children, because you're going to be stuck with her for a long time. But that's not the way guys with active sex lives view women. Guys with active sex lives view women as, she's attractive enough to have sex with. She looks like she would be fun to have sex with and know intimately. Maybe not the mother of my children, maybe not the girl I introduced to mom and dad or all my friends, but she looks like she'd be a fun time to get to know. And these are the guys that are going to have tons of sex, tons of experience, whereas the virgin basement dwellers are going to be on their computers criticizing every blemish and flaw on women that look a million times better than they do and look a million times better than the girls that they will ever be with. And that's the problem with having sky-high expectations when you have no experience. What happens to these guys? When you have sky-high expectations and very little experience to back it up, you are shooting yourself in the foot. The options of women that you have available to you are extremely small, because you're viewing them as, she must be the wife of my children, she must be able to introduce to my parents, as opposed to, looks like she'd be fun to get to know intimately. What happens when he finally sees the rare girl that's attractive enough for him? Do you think he has the experience to strike up a conversation with her, ask her out, get a date, get laid, and maintain a long-term relationship with her when he has no experience to know how to do that? Of course not. What happens to these guys is they go through life being completely celibate for a very long time, looking for the one, looking for the amazing girl with no problems, no blemishes, no flaws. And when the odd time that they do meet up with her, or do encounter one, they let her pass by and nothing happens. So they're left with nothing. And what these guys end up doing is eventually, reality sets in. And, they end up finding a girl that's good enough, not in anything compared to what they had in mind, but she's good enough, ends up being your girlfriend, and ends up being the wife and mother of their kids, even though she never really was something that he was excited about. He just let reality take its course and kind of went with the flow. Now consider that guy that actually has an active sex life, who's constantly getting laid with new women, meeting new women, having experiences and relationships with them. When he does meet a girl that really ticks all of his boxes, he's ready to make the most of that opportunity because he has so much experience built up. It's not a big deal for him. So yeah, meeting his dream girl is a lot more likely, and it's pretty much inevitable given enough time. So yeah, this is why I think the majority of guys live in sexual scarcity, is because they view women as like, these sex equals girlfriend, sex equals wife, sex equals mother of my children, when that's a very narrow niche that you're looking at. If you broaden your horizons and look at girls as she looks like she'd be fun to hang out with, looks like she'd be fun to get to know, then it broadens your spectrum of women that are available to you. And you never know, the girls that didn't you expect to really like get along with, maybe they end up being like the type of women that you're really all about now. So yeah, that's why the majority of guys live in sexual scarcity in this day and age. All right, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching.